Who's still with us, and what a great little singer she was. Very, very popular. I think she was another discovery by those Fab Four Beatles.
Yeah, right.
Hey, fam, it's 14 minutes away from midday. We've got, of all people, coming along after the 12 o'clock news, sports and weather, Ted Seymour with more of the great sounds of Bay FM. And we're celebrating 25 years broadcasting from the Bay. Chatting with Madonna Guy and Bay Health and our special guest, Linda Brennan.
So I also wanted to talk to you. You do classes on fermenting food. So why is this such a passion of yours?
I guess the idea behind fermenting for me and doing the classes was that I used to do so many fermented foods anyway, you know, the lacto-fermented foods.
Absolutely.
Because we have a history of bowel cancer in our family. And it was something that I wanted to avoid at all costs. So after much research, I discovered that fermentation and all those amazing bacteria that you're absorbing into your body through the gut are actually supporting your gut and are supporting the rest of your body through the gut. So I made lots of fermented foods over the years, and my son, who's actually been to Korea, says, "Mum, you make the best kimchi outside Korea." But then people were asking me, I'd have classes at Eco Botanica, where we live in Capalaba. I'd have classes and I'd serve up some of those beautiful drinks or foods, and people would say, "Linda, can you teach us how to do this?" And so that's how it began many years ago.
Do you do much fermented foods, Roger, or do you tend to not go
there? The only thing I
there?
really wanted to ferment was yeast and make beer, but I never did that. But Linda's got some very interesting classes coming up. The first on Saturday the 20th. Tell us more about these classes, Linda, because I dare say there are a lot of people who would love to learn how to cook in a healthy manner.
Well, I run classes, Roger, on all sorts of things organic, particularly about harvesting and using that produce from your garden, and to help you achieve a healthier lifestyle as well. So on Saturday, my class is on preserving your bounty, your summer bounty, and many of us don't have freezer space, so we're doing dehydrating, and that's a wonderful way of preserving a lot of foods, even for things like making main courses such as dehydrated pizza bases that you can just whiz out in a flash. But after that, I've got a fermenting class as well on Sunday the 4th of February in the afternoon from 1 till 4:30, and I still have vacancies in that one if anyone would like to have a look on the ecobotanica.com.au website and have a look at what it entails. But
So what sort of things would people learn at the fermenting course?
yes, we'll be doing fermented drinks and fermented fruits.
So the whole
and
kombucha
vegetables.
craze at the moment?
I think I've done a lot of classes on kombucha and kefir, but this time I'm going to do a bit different. So many of the people who come to my classes come for several. This time we're looking at fermented drinks such as the Switzels. And I've got a recipe in a
You've been there, haven't you, to Switzels? Switzels land? Yeah.
I've got a recipe in there for Bougainvillea Switzel, which
Really?
is just sensational. It's a brilliant, beautiful coloured drink.
I reckon my neighbours be worried about me walking around the garden picking flowers and using them on chatting.
But you know that the Bougainvillea
So bougainvillea
Switzel
flowers are
is,
edible?
Yeah,
I've got a bougainvillea too.
Wow.
It's the colour that we go for, which is a non-toxic food colorant.
Right.
And yes,
Of
you can
course.
create this beautiful colouring, and then added to that lovely flavours that we can be growing in the garden, like lemon myrtle or lemon verbena, and we ferment that with cider vinegar. So I make our own cider vinegar with the mother out of apple juice, as for all things, and it makes a really delicious, gentle, kind to your gut drink.
Right. So for
Yeah.
people who have leaky gut issues, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, any of those sort of things, not to mention autoimmunity, which we were chatting before, that is just going through the roof.
Vinegar's
The
amazing,
numbers.
isn't it?
Yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Explain to me, Linda, what is, and I've seen it on labels because I have it myself, with the mother.
Well, have you ever had kombucha?
Yeah, my mum used to pass it over to me. She used to make big vats of it with the mushroom on
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
Yes, that mushroom or the SCOBY on top, the SCOBY stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It looks like a big flat discus of brown interestingness. Well, the mother in a vinegar is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast as well, but it's a very gentle, soft little thing that floats on the top of the vinegar or the wine or whatever you want to, or the apple juice, and that does the same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
It
well, I can remember
ferments.
when Mum used to make it, and she used to put a little bottle for me and I'd take it back to my place, and it had a little sparkle to it, like a very fine champagne. I don't know whether it was getting alcoholic, but it was quite a pleasant taste.
Is there a spot where it turns bad or gets worse, or is there like a magic? Is there a magical spot with things like fermented drinks where you just have to have them then?
It actually, the fermentation works with the bacteria and yeast working on the carbohydrates or the sugars within the drink that you've made. Once they've used up all the sugars, the drink becomes very acidic. So it's a taste thing that you're looking for.
So then you dilute it with water or you throw it out?
You would, so with the Switzel, you dilute it with water and then you add to that original mother more of the same. So she's an ongoing producing mother.
Okay.
Now, Linda, if I wanted to start a small organic garden, and I believe you have a lesson in that on the 17th of February, what's the simplest way of going about it? Pots or in the ground?
So for people, what I wanted to do with this small organic garden class was to create a class for people who didn't have a lot of room and who were starting out. And my thoughts are or my philosophy is that you should have the KISS principle under your belt first. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
So we start small, become adept at doing what we are in a small space, and then work up from that. So you can start, and we'll be doing this, but you can start in pots and troughs, which is great for people living with a unit on a balcony or a front door area only. And then you might be doing raised garden beds or an old bath and recycling an old bath, for example.
Right.
Well, I was thinking in pots. Now, you buy your soil from a reputable hardware store. The soil itself can have additives in it, chemicals.
Yes, I don't actually buy soil from places like that. I don't buy soil, full stop. I will buy compost to improve the soil that I buy, but working in pots, I only use one product if I'm buying it, and that's an organic potting mix. And there's only one in southeast Queensland that I know of, and that's called...
That's totally organic?
Yes, that's totally organic, and that's it's called Searle's Premium Organic Potting Mix.
Right.
And there's no chemicals added to that.
Yeah.
All natural and certified organic.
Because one of the things about soils, and I know we have to finish, but one of the things about soils with the chemicals, that will get into the root system of the plant. So then when you're eating the stuff, it's already in there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we might not add anything on top, but if it's in the soil, it's coming up through the plants.
And that's why it's really important to treat your soil well too. But that's a whole new conversation about how to start up.
We'll have to have
soil.
you back. Linda, these amazing lessons that you're providing, if someone wants to contact you, the number is 320-63-676, and you've got an email address. What's that?
That's linda@ecobotanica.com.au.
Thank you very much for dropping. Very interesting indeed. And I think we'll have you back to discuss more of this. Madonna, lovely chatting.
Thanks, Roger. I'll see you next week.
And I'm sorry you had to share the mic.
But, that's all good.
Oh, we're getting so tight around here. Ken Seymour will be coming along very shortly after the 12 o'clock news, sports and weather. It's 5 to 12.